Hi, everyone. It's Diane Evans from stampingwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So welcome to my Facebook Live or my YouTube Live. I really do appreciate when you do join me. Remember that this is part of a live, so if you are watching it on replay, there very possibly could be me talking to different people that are on here. And if this is one of your first times joining me and you're off of my YouTube, make sure that you subscribe down below, hit that bell, and you'll get notified immediately as soon as I do go live. So it's Monday. This is where I do a fun fold or a fancy fold or a 3D project. So somebody said to me yesterday, and it made so much sense, make something that's simple. And I thought, well, okay, I'll do a simple card. This is something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. And then it got to the point, it's not quite, the card itself is simple. Maybe the way that I might decorate it might be a little bit different. I really don't know. Oh my goodness, it looks like a bad hair day. As long as it's not a bad card day, we're good. All right, so let's jump on down, and I am going to be playing with something new from the catalog. I love florals. Honestly, florals are something, hello. Um, they're just, they make me happy. This one does remind me of one from the last catalog, but honestly, it's really, really pretty. These images are at 80%, 90%. My goodness, they read it so small I can't even see. But it has some excellent sprigs and that sort of stuff. And then I like the fact that it's distinctive, so it doesn't quite show in different ways. So I thought, well, this is what I'm going to do. And this can be found on page 65. Remember, when you buy it as a bundle, you save your 10%. But it has some 2-time stamping in it. I think there's lots of really neat things that you can actually do with this. All right, so let me just put that off to the side. And I'm going to bring in, and I'm going to play with a couple of new colors as well. I am going to be using Moody Mauve and Bubble Bath. I think those two colors go so well together. I'll just sort of show you how. I don't even have the colors, the cardstock. I've got some. So I was thinking I might use the sanding, but there's the Moody Mauve and the Bubble Bath. Now, you may be, if you're from the United States, you would say Moody Mauve. I tend to go with the English way of saying things, so I go mauve. So, oh, somebody from France. Ah, bonjour. Well, probably more like bonsoir, right? In any event, that's about the limit of my French, and I really apologize for that. In any event, we are doing a lattice card. So I have a piece. This is a piece of basic white. It's a thick. Always when you do a card that is a base of a card and you're using white, you should always use the thick basic white. So I've got this 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to fold that into the mountain, and let's just go and use our bone folder. And then I'm going to need to, and I'm sure you've seen these lattice cards. I just had to give my hand at it. And it was a new stamp set, so why not? So there's lots of different ways of doing this. I am just going to do it the simplest way that I feel that there is to do it. So I'm going to come from one end, the front end, and I'm going to cut off 6 strips at 1/2 inch. So that's one. Now I could be doing it the opposite way, but I find that if it's a short piece, it's better to cut and measure off on this side. 3. Now, I received a beautiful card from Betty. So that inspired me, and that put it on my list to do. Maybe I'm doing this a little bit different than the way that you've done it before, but in any event, this is the way that I found worked the best for me. this fold itself is very, very simple. So it's something that you can change. I was actually going to do this with, I was going to have a lot of fun and do it with some other items instead of flowers, but I'll leave that for another rainy day. So a lot of people use different things. I am using this Post-it note tape, and I don't like the masking tape for certain things because it's too sticky. This way, at least it's not as sticky. I haven't done a lattice card, so this is one of my first. All right. So, okay. So what I'm doing is I am bringing this down like this. Like I say, I've cut off, and I'm going to go ahead. And now I did go and do something a little bit different, and I don't know how this is going to look, but I ran this through my embossing folder. And that embossing folder is, just bear with me, it's the Timber, I believe is what it's called. Yes, the Timber embossing folder. So it kind of looks like wood. So it kind of looks like, it would look like it's on from a fence. So I cut them in such a way that I had them going across, and then the two that are going to go on the ends, I cut so they were a continuance of this. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I cut them so that they're all going the same way. Now, isn't that funny? I can't even see. There we go. Embossed and debossed. Okay, so I am going to line this up. I find the easiest way to do this is to line it up on your grid paper. And I know that this is the edge of the card. So I'm just going to come right down here, and I'm going to line that up there. Like, whoops, right on, oops, can you see that? Right on the edge there. And then this, and I'm going to double check to make sure. That kind of looks like it's, I want to make sure that, you know what, I think I'm going to bring this up a bit so you can see it a little bit more. So I want to, now this came down. This was my reasoning. This was the bottom of the card. So I'm just going to come in. That's hard to see the embossed and the debossed side. All right, so I'm going to also measure that. Nope. I'm going to measure this one up right to the end, right to this part here, so that I know where that's going to. Now I'm going to come down 1/4 of an inch. And with the grid paper, it's so much easier to do this. Just put that there. Again, I'm coming down another 1/4 of an inch. And another 1/4 of an inch down. 1/4 of an inch space in between is what I've done. And then I'm going to make this so that this is easy for me. I'm going to come in with my last embossed piece. And of course, I can't find it. So these are the two that are on the side. Oh my goodness, how can that be? 1, 2. It's got to be in here. Now that's not going to look right if I don't have that embossed. Oh, you know what? It's in the envelope still. All right, so then this is just going to come right down here. I'm going to line it up with the edge there, with both edges, and also on the back side of the card. Now that's a little bit less, and I think it's probably because I didn't measure out the slats enough. I'm going to leave that like that. If this, I think maybe this should have been measured This was measured at 5.5. And you know what? That doesn't quite come down to, it's a little off. That's the reasoning for that. But I'm not going to worry about that. This is for the sake of showing you. Now, I also embossed these two pieces. And I am going to go ahead and they're going to be layered onto here. Like so. But I thought, you know, it'd be kind of nice to have like a picket sort of type fence. So I am coming in with this punch. Oh my goodness. The words are not coming to me today. And I'm just going to have that go in like that. Push it right in. And then I'll line up the top and then we'll go. There we go. And see, that's going to give me the picket fence up at the top. So we've got the wood. You can't see it very well in there. And then this is going to line up here. Now, I am not going to, I'm also using my grid paper for this as well. I am not going to line up the bottom. I'm going to put this where I want this to be. So I'm going to line that up probably like about there. So I'm going to come in with my glue and I'm going to mark a bit of glue here, or we could use glue dots too. You know what? I'm going to come in with some new glue because that glue is gone. Now I got to be careful with this glue because now it's going to blob out on me, right? Okay, so I'm going to put this here. I'm just going to go put this right there. So this is just going to go on here. And I only want it up a certain amount. So it's going to go in like about 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I like the glue because it sticks really, really well. So let's go ahead. Whoops. Didn't mean for that to. Now see, that's coming. Whoops. Now, bring this down just a bit. You can use the grid paper for all your measurements. Like if you want this to be, that keeps moving on me. And of course you could go in, let's see, this is at 3/8 of an inch longer. So this is going to be 3/8 of an inch longer. So that looks like it's about right. And then now what I can do is once that's good and dry, and I'm going to let that sit for a second, I can then take off that tape and then I can also cut this part off at the bottom. Okay, so let's let that sit. And now what we need to do, we need to go in and do some stamping. So I just have a piece of basic white. And the stamps that I'm going to use is I'm going to use this piece here and this. So it's like a 2-time stamping. And originally what I was thinking, should I use Pretty Peacock for the leaves or should I use Lost Lagoon? Now my Lost Lagoon stamp pad is here somewhere. I think it's with a kit that I've got together to put cards together. So that's the reason why I don't have it. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to use Bubble Bath. Now, I want to tell you that on this particular stamp set, it wasn't completely stamping right. So what I want to do is I just come in with an eraser And then we're just going to clean this off. And that should let it stamp better. So I'm just going to go in and clean that part off. And then we'll go from there. All right. So my first one I want to do is in Bubble Bath. I'm going to do 3 of these. So let's go Bubble Bath. You'll see what I mean by it is a little bit different. So I've got another Bubble Bath, and I'm going to bring in my Moody Mauve. And I'm going to come in now with a sponge dauber. And I'm just going to just get some ink on there as well. I'm going to stamp that the second time. Just like that. And then I thought, well, let's do one all in complete Moody Mauve. But I think it needs to be stamped off. I really do. I think it's... I'm just going to come in to stamp that off. And there. Whoops. No, I think we really need to have it full strength. So I'm just going to put it there. All right. So, of course, we want to clean that off. There we go. Now, with this next piece, my goodness, I've got long sleeves, and I'm sure I'm going to have something here. Hello. Oh, my goodness, you guys. So, were you at our... Oh, you were at our launch. Some of you were at the launch. Okay, so then the next piece is this part here. And this part is a little bit tricky to line up. And normally I always say do your dark one first. I found this was kind of easier to kind of do it not first, but do it so that it was after. So I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock on there. Because I'm using Pretty Peacock on this card is what I'm doing. So I thought it was too dark to begin with. So I'm just going to come in and just stamp that off. And then I'm going in, and it looks like I've got this in the wrong position. So let me just stamp this one first. You kind of have to play around where you want those leaves to go. But see, that works out okay by stamping that part off. Oh, my goodness. Well, we're going to have to play with that like that. Just like that. And then I'm going to try to clean that off. These are very juicy stamps. Usually by the time I'm showing an awful lot of stuff online, the stamps are not quite as juicy. Or you can also take off the juice too, if you're finding it's not going very well. How do I feel about Moody Mauve on my white shirt? Do I have Moody Mauve on my white shirt? It wouldn't surprise me. If I get it fast enough, I can get it off. Okay, so I've got those, and I've actually gone ahead and I've actually cut those out because I thought, oh, it's going to take a long time. Now, my thought process was also, and you can't do this now that I've done this, I was going to stamp on these slats, right? But guess what? I can't because they're now in, I did them with an embossing folder. So that wasn't that bright. Oh, you guys are too funny. Okay, so let me just go and trim this part off. There we go. And I'm going to need to stamp something else on there. All right, so I do happen to have, and I did stamp, I love these sprigs from this textured floral. Check it out. Like really, they are gorgeous. This one looks like eucalyptus, right? So that, I'm thinking I could do that like that. So we can have this go like this. Like this. I don't know how much I need. I'm going to actually open this up because it's going to make it easier for me to see where to put this stuff. And then I have this one. So I actually could go like this. No, I think it's better this way. Maybe just the two. And I know that looks like an uneven number, but I think with all the different stuff on there, you're not going to notice it. I think that's almost enough on there. Now, what I want to do is I want to stamp a sentiment. Obviously, I'm going to have to stamp a sentiment over there instead of it being here. Happy birthday to you would have been what I was thinking. Or I had actually done this, and I thought, well, this could possibly work, but you're seeing my thought process, right? So I was going to go sending. Oh, I love this bubble bath in this. Sending. But you know what? It's too big, so I'm not going to do that. So I need to figure out what sentiment I want to put on there. I think one of my favorite of all of them are, I like that one, but I do like, this one has birthday blooms for you. Well, you know what? I think I might use the lasting one. I really, really like this one. The sprigs are so nice, really. Let's see. I really like this birthday wishes. It's probably one of my favorite on there. Now, I could, let's see. What do you think, you guys? Should I, you know what? I think I might even put this one, I might even put this one behind on there. Let's see how that's going to look. I might just do a smaller one, like I say, with this birthday wishes. Let's see how that's going to look. So it would go, that's not quite big enough. Well, let's just use what's in the package. Maybe it's too big. See, that's pretty big. Oh, there's another idea. Like, I don't know what to use. If I did this, this would be better on a white. So let me grab some more white. There we go. So what I could do is I'm thinking the pretty peacock is what I'm thinking. Oh, that is pretty though. That's a really pretty font. Let's go. Let's see. A 1 3/4 inch punch. And this might even be nice if it was done in the pink. Oh yeah, I got another idea. So that's 1 3/4. I have a 2-inch punch, and that might even be nice in, let's try, this is a 2-inch punch. Maybe Moody Mauve would have been better. Oh dear, I can't get that to punch. Where's my 2-inch? Here we go. Here's my 2-inch. Let's try this. So this could go onto here like this, or it could go onto Moody Mauve. What do you think? Moody Mauve or Moody Mauve might be the way to go. Oh my goodness. It's funny because I had a bunch of circles cut out. See, I'm wondering. See how that could go like that? What do you think? It would have to be done in white embossing if that was the case. So let me try with this. Let's see how this looks. So if I had this with a 1 3/4 inch, I'll just do it this way. Like I say, I'm all over the page. Let's see. Let's do this again. And I will use the 1 3/4 inch punch. I love these punches. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun to have a punch because they're so easy to do, right? So what are you thinking? Should it be there? Should it be here? Kind of looks really nice and clean with the white. Or should it be on Pretty Peacock? Oh my goodness. Okay, I know I'm really indecisive today, but there we go. So I've got lots of choices here. So I'm thinking this could go on here. I really like this plain white. I think that's very striking, just like that. What do you think? I think that's the route I'm going to go. All right. Yeah. All right. So then I know where that's going to go. Now I've got all these circles and we can play around with those a lot more. So let me just go and start putting this on. Yeah, I think this is eucalyptus. I'm pretty sure it is. Just going to let that set for a second. We're going to put dimensionals on there, but we're going to put this on. And this is going to have a lot of movement in it, is how I'm thinking that it should have. This one can be down a little bit more. There we go. Like that. Now with these flowers, we're going to pop them up with our mini dimensionals. Like I say, it's a matter of playing, right? All right. Kind of don't want these showing through, so this is going to be up further. So I can put more dimensionals up at the top. And then maybe stick one under in a bit. White on the Pretty Peacock. I know that's the one that's singing to me. So, all right, so let's go there. And then I have this one that's been here. have that go that way. Okay. Yeah, this is some very pretty flowers, this one. I think the big ones, I love this leaf one. That one really is exciting. I can't wait to use that. Okay, let's go here. Now, if I wanted to, I could put a bit more of that on there. You know, what I might even do is just take a tiny bit of this and just sort of stick that down below so that it ties some of that in and covers up some of that other stuff. This, with the mixing of all this. Oops. And then this is, of course, going to go on with dimensionals. Another one. Yes, Betty, I loved your card. Very, very nice. And that's where I thought I could go across the slats, but that's not going to work. All right, so this is then going to go on here, right about here. You're not even seeing the tops of those, you're not even seeing the tops of the slats there. So why did I spend that much time doing that, right? I could have this up further, but I think it looks good right about there. So I'm just actually going to come on and just put some of this here. We'll let that set for a bit. Now, as far as, and see what I can do is then even have this on the inside. And if you see some of that through, that'll be okay as well. And then I'll show you what gems that we can use. There we go. That's just going to go on there. And like I say, and then this part's just going to go on here in the middle. Gee, I know who this would have been a perfect card for. My godmother would have just loved this one. All right, so we have that. And it's looking not too bad. This one should have been down here. So what I'm thinking I might do is just maybe even add a bit more of these sprigs down here. That's just down there. So it kind of hides that part. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm going to, because it kind of covers up a little bit of stuff there that looks like it's sort of stopped. And I mean, I know when your flowers are growing up a trellis, it doesn't really matter. But that kind of just ties that part in. So see, you can just take some of these and just fix them. Now, I have some in color dots. I have these Moody Mauve ones. I could put those on there. That might look quite nice. But my thought was, and let me see how this is going to look. Anyways, we have these brushed brass butterflies. And honestly, it's kind of neat, but I want to show you what it would look like in, where is my pretty peacock? If I colored these in Pretty Peacock. If I did them in Pretty Peacock, I could also do them in Mauve, right? Moody Mauve. Let's see how that'll look. And the Moody Mauve are here as well. Let's see what they would look like. Oh, the Moody Mauve looks quite nice. Okay, let's just sort of put one of those on and see how it looks. I have these. I've never really used them, which is so sad. Excuse me. Okay, let's see how these would look. So here's a pretty peacock one. Ooh. You know what? I think I'm going to leave them in pretty peacock. Flight of the Butterflies. There we go. There. All right. So there's my lattice card. Oh, you made a card like that yesterday. I haven't done one, so it was kind of fun to be able to do it and use some new stuff, right? So I might want those a little bit darker. Well, this might be kind of scary to do. I'm going to come in and I want them a little bit darker. Did you know that you could color those? There we go. Awesome. We could do 5 on there too. 5 would have been okay. Anyway, bent. There is my lattice card. Now, the other thing is I could turn around and maybe put something on the inside. So my thought was, let's possibly put this pink on the inside. Well, that would have been pretty too. Maybe even the Moody Mauve, but then I'll cover this picture up. So what do you think? Moody Mauve on the inside? Do you think that Bubble Bath or Pretty Peacock maybe? So, but I think it needs something behind it so that you can see. So this is where I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm putting that behind. All right, so let me just go in and quickly cut that. And you know what, I've got another flower cut out too that I can put on the inside. So I'm actually going to make this the same size as the card itself. So it's going to be 5.5. I'll just show you how I'm going to do this. 5.5 by 4.25. And then I'm going to take off just a tidge off the inside on the length. And that is so that this will close. Yeah, you know what? That's going to work. Yeah, much nicer, eh? With that like that. Now, I could turn around and I could put this. Oh, I could just put it right on the inside like that and leave this part white. Oh my goodness, I keep changing my mind, don't I? This just needs to come off just a bit more. There we go. So I am going to go and put that right like that. And that is going to be the inside of the card. Much better. Yeah. So there is my card. I hope you like that. Come back tomorrow. I'll be back at 4:30 Pacific time. That's when I do my technique. And we see what I'm going to have, what I have up my sleeve for doing that. Yeah, it'll be great. In any event, you guys have a great day. Remember to create because it's great for the soul. And we will see you tomorrow, 4:30 Pacific. Bye for now. Oh, don't forget to share my video. Give me the thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. Thanks. Bye.